in a generally empty Carrier Dome, but we thank you so much for joining us tonight here in the ACC as we get it started. And Miami wins the opening tip of the Canes to knock off Louisville 78-72 at Coral Gables. They had just 7 healthy scholarship players in winning that game, and right out of the gate they knocked down 2. Trying to get inside that zone. It's Walker leaning into the paint and knocks in 2.
And not that Coach Larranaga was at Miami at the time, but coaching against Coach Boeheim at Bowling Green and other stops, he knows how to navigate the zone. But one of the things that really a guy that makes plays off the dribble to make plays for his teammates and himself scoring the basketball. You think back over the past couple of years, Ty's battle, and then of course Elijah Hughes last year for the Orange, shooting the ball from beyond the three-point arc, as you mentioned before, 3 for 22 against Pitt in that blowout loss.
Walker feeling it early.
Yeah, Walker's been very aggressive on the offensive end early.
And they continue to be very chilly. Griffin off the mark. He's happy he got to the rim that time, and now Miami gets to the rim very quickly.
Obi, we talked about Kadari Richmond getting into the game and what he brings, but actually seeing him playing alongside Joe Girard, and this is not a lineup we've seen a lot. Down his first bucket of the game. And the first for Syracuse in a minute.
And Syracuse coming away with the turnover. Brooks got beat on that play. And up and in, Richmond, no question about this, is a superior defender. And he's showing that in a quick entry into this game. Girard with a nifty fake and knocks it down. Now Syracuse on a mini 6-0 run, but they desperately needed that. Richmond kicks it here for Griffin. Yes! And now the Orange have really come alive. They've tied the game at 11.
And Richmond finding his way into the paint and finding teammates to tie the game at 11. With Timberlake and McGusty checking back and playing in this game, as well as Dan Gack, who's in the game now, they still are missing 3 major pieces in Chris Light, Sam Wardenberg, and Rodney Miller.
Yes, and Girard gives Syracuse their first lead of the game at 14-12. They had that 12-1 run there.
Had a good look for crossing the corner, unable to knock it down.
And now Miami is 0 for 8 beyond the three-point line. They need a Joe Girard who is burying them.
And finish. But JG3 knocking down another one.
Richmond helping turn a 9-point deficit into a 6-point lead for the Orange. Shot clock a factor, down to 2, a collision, no foul, and Edwards drops it in. Defense has really been so solid since the opening minutes. Here's Girard. There's no such thing as a range for him.
Though you know that it's going to be a zone and you know what's happening, they still have struggled against those teams that consider Boston College, who zoned Miami for the entire game, and were able to come away with the win in that one. Have been on fire offensively and really blanking Miami on the defensive end. Brooks with a nice find and finish.
Who had missed several games to a hamstring injury. Leaning inside, that won't drop, but controlled by Syracuse on the baseline, and a stuff by Guerrier.
At some point, they're going to have to make some threes to have success.
Guerrier to the paint off the fake. Boy, is that a pretty play, going to his right so strong.
Right now, this game is tied as far as points in the paint. Both teams with 10 points in the paint, but it's been the three-point shooting from Syracuse that's given them the advantage.
15 points tonight. Kick out for Walker. Guerrier has become a center of attraction here.
I've known Earl Timberlake for a long time. One thing he's going to be is aggressive. He doesn't know any other way. But Edwards has been
buckling
great.
down. Yeah, he really has been defensively, hasn't he, in particular?
He really has. And right there, you know, when you get the basketball inside, as Buddy Boeheim's able to knock down his first three-pointer in the last couple of games, there was no one there because of social distancing. So there's no one to go into the game, fortunately, for Allen Griffin.
Elijah dumps it off, and an easy 2 for Griffin. So a quick strike for Syracuse to begin their second half. Because in a normal year, a non-pandemic season, you know, your assistant coach is right there, and the guy is 15 feet away. You can't say what you want to say.
He was attacking the painted area, shooting the pull-up, the mid-range, scoring 2-point baskets, and that gets you going to knock down a couple of threes. But Syracuse is only giving them threes, and Guerrier continues to dominate their own shot and create opportunities for their teammates. So he's going to have to be even more aggressive here in the second half to try to get the Qs back. Sorry to get the
45-22. Cross back into the game. Here's Wong again. And yes, he swishes in. Finally hits a three. Every Tuesday and Saturday. You and I hum and strum.
Yeah, my God. Notorious D.O.B.
It's Mr. Guerrier again.
Can you see the difference? I mean, when you look at Joe Girard, just in his body language alone, he's a different player today than he's been over the past few games for Syracuse. I believe that Coach Boeheim created that with Girard Richmond coming in, playing the point guard, pushing Girard off the basketball. And normally a scenario where Buddy Boeheim would go out of the game, the same guy before, defensively and putting points on the board for the Orange.
Auguste, a little floater in the lane for two. Usually it's Dolezaj. He's the guy who takes those hits and, loses a tooth or gets whacked on the head or gets absolutely plowed into the ground.
Went to Syracuse. You understand. You have been a part of that rivalry for a very long time. You've done Syracuse-Georgetown games. You know what that's about.
Little pull-up pop. Knocks that one down. And took a hit as well. Just can't win a basketball game that way. Boeheim got a good look. Wong trying to make it a one-man fast break up to the other end for two.
About a young man who's coming off a 30-point game against Louisville, but the difference is, and Jim Larinaga told you and I beforehand, defenses bother the Hurricanes because they struggle to shoot the basketball. And when you consider what has been tonight, 1 for 20 from beyond three-point arc, now 2 for 21.
Which just absolutely caught fire in the early portion of the first half. Wong inside and draws the foul as well, so he'll be at the line.
Miami has not had a chance. It has been all Syracuse ever since. And the beautiful weather in Miami, 77 tomorrow, will not help the fact that Joe Girard has just gone for a season high. You look at the lineup right now, and you see Richmond back on the floor. Buddy Boeheim now goes to the back line of the zone, in which you still have to be athletic to cover ground.
Syracuse has a chance to really get rolling starting tonight. They'll play 4 of their next 5 right here inside the Carrier Dome. 66-43. Boeheim from the wing. Dolezaj will kick it out. Here comes his second effort. And that one absolutely perfect.
When you're a shooter like Boeheim, offensive rebound, kickback, especially after you just missed the three, that's the best way to try to fix things. As Isaiah Wong forces a three, was able to knock it down.
Richmond on the dribble. Nice look there for the stuff by Guerrier. And that's something else that Richmond can do for you.
0.4 2.1 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is second in the ACC. And he plays with a poise that's well beyond a freshman. Maybe the biggest basketball fan in college basketball. I've been to practices, and his team's on the floor practicing, and he's watching games on his phone in between plays, trying to figure out what's going on in the landscape of college basketball. The 51 Division I schools and what they're doing.
You are too. You watch a ton of basketball. You watch as much as anybody that I know. Guerrier with the dunk, but nobody watches more than Coach Boeheim.
Happens to be a Hall of Fame coach with a national championship and multiple Final Fours to his resume.
Threading his way in. Richmond for a sweet basket.
Because it's not as though you can practice. No one can be in the gym. You can't do anything for at least a week.
Nia gets that one up there for 2. Girard will back it out, run a little more clock here. Shot clock down to 5. Jumping in the lane, Boeheim from 3. Yes, pretty good stretch, certainly for home games. They love the place to be packed with fans, of course. And on the slam, way up on the other end, it's Richmond.
But this young man fits the mold as to what has been successful for the Orange. Of course, can work on his shot as every player can. But I think he's going to be a star. Can't make enough twos to beat this Syracuse zone. We're going to have to make some threes, and 4 for 25 just not going to cut it.
Over the top, and Walker up and in. We raved about Anthony Walker in the early moments of the game. It kind of went quiet after that, and it was all Orange the rest of the night. Syracuse wins this one big time. A season high in points for Girard and Boeheim with 23 apiece in an 83-57 victory for the Syracuse Orange tonight. Well, for Corey Alexander, my partner, and our entire crew, thanks so much for joining us. There's your final again. Syracuse 83, Miami 57. Kelsey and EJ coming your way next, back in the studio. Have a great night, everybody.